Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. So I'm super excited. We've had this on the calendar for a little while. I'm joined by Erin Minckley, the author of Artists Who Thrive, which is now available on Amazon and so many other places. And Erin, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
It's so great to have you. So you wear many titles. You have many, many hats. You're an author, but you're also an entrepreneur. So I want to start with that. Can you describe your path to becoming an entrepreneur, to being an entrepreneur? And you're in a creative line of work. So where do those two worlds collide?
Yeah, sure. I actually feel like I have probably been meant to be an entrepreneur for my entire life. But I am trained as a visual artist, and I got my master's degree in fine arts in 2012 and set out to be a teacher. So I was teaching college for a little while. And after that, picked up some part-time jobs working in print manufacturing. And because my expertise was in screen printing, worked for about a year and a half in a wallpaper factory and just fell in love with the process of screen printed wallpaper. And I decided about a year and a half in working there that I'm an artist. Why am I not doing this myself? I think I'm going to start a business. And it was kind of the craziest thing I had ever done. Most people did not expect me to do it. And I started my own wallpaper company. So I now design and manufacture luxury wall coverings for residential and commercial use. And it was through that I really got to become the CEO of my own life,
That's
as
awesome.
I call it.
That's awesome. And we're all home for the most part. And so being comfortable in your surroundings is so important. But you are an artist, you are an entrepreneur, but you're also an author. So you wrote the book Artists Who Thrive. Why did you write that book? Why is the image of the starving artist not a realistic one?
Interesting. Well, yeah, so we are all home, right? And COVID started, and I decided that if I was going to have to um, let go of my office manager and run this business completely on my own, I needed a creative outlet. And I wanted to sort of level up. I had been in business for 5 years, and I wanted to be considered more of an expert in my field. And so a lot of the business seminars that I was going to was saying, why don't you write a book? And I thought, okay, what am I an expert at? I would love to write a book about wallpaper, but I don't really want to go down in history as the wallpaper lady. Like, I don't think that that's my legacy here. So what I decided to do is tell a little bit of my story of how I went from being a fine artist to being an entrepreneur, because most people's misconception is that you can't do that. You can't go from being a starving artist to a successful business owner. And I think that a lot of people even encourage their children not to become artists or study art in college because they don't think it's lucrative. And so I kind of set out to demystify what it means to start a business as an artist and show people that, heck yeah, they can do that. And here's a little of my story and how I did it.
I encourage everybody tuning in to get a copy of the book, Artists Who Thrive. It's available on Amazon. We'll provide, obviously, your website and more contact information in just a few minutes. But artists do have a stereotype. There is a stereotype, and the most creative people out there. But certainly, it's, artist and entrepreneur usually are not used in the same sentence. So I'm curious why you think that artists don't do enough to promote their businesses. Are they changing their game plans, especially when people can't see them at in-person events thanks to COVID-19? How is that world, that hat that you wear as an artist? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's funny because as I was thinking, as you were saying that, I thought artists and entrepreneurs are the same thing. And I absolutely think that if you're not like someone who can draw and paint, it doesn't mean that this book isn't for you. Being an entrepreneur is one of the most creative things that you can do, especially when you're designing or creating something unique that's your own. It's using your imagination, right? The idea before the product and having faith that it's going to work out. And so I think that artists and entrepreneurs really are one and the same. But I think the misconception is that they're two different hats and you can only wear one. I think the artists are actually primed to be the best entrepreneurs because from the get go, they are thinking outside the box. We don't typically follow the rules, we don't typically want structure. We create ways of doing things in our own way, even if it's quirky. And so I think that artists have a unique position where if only they were to think of themselves as a business and allow themselves to make money doing what they're doing, it's a mindset that they would be able to really thrive.
So here on Get Down to Business, we talk with a lot of folks, and no doubt there are artists that are tuning in, and they surely will be inspired by what you are doing and the impact that you are having, really on an entire industry as a whole. So I'm curious, beyond the book, what are some of the things that you can share to encourage artists to grow their businesses? And I know you talk about some of them in the books, and I don't want you to share all of the secrets and that recipe, but tell us a little bit about some of the things that, on a very personal level, you've seen have an impact on your business.
Yeah, and I'm happy to share my recipe because for each person, it's a little bit different. You can't remake it exactly how I did it, but I'm also just so excited about the techniques in this book. So the book is in three sections. The first is about resilience and really overcoming all the hurdles and all the obstacles. And many times you'll be told no and be turned away. The second section is about relationships. And if the people that surround you in your sphere of influence right now aren't helping you get ahead, you may need to build a new network. You may need to hire someone. You may need to meet a graphic designer. And so I really encourage people to ask for help, get new audience, get new networks. And the third section of the book is about results. I wish that I could just jump to the end and say, here's how to get rich. 1, 2, 3. But if you don't master the first part and the second part, you'll never get to the results. And so it's funny, the shortest part of the book is the end. The longest part is the beginning, where it's really about mindset and priming your brain to allow for you to become successful.
Wow. Well, you've shared a lot already, and I'm excited for what's coming your way. Again, I'm chatting with Erin Minckley, who is the author of Artists Who Thrive, available on Amazon. And Erin, this is an important book, but I have a feeling there's a lot more, both in your business as well as maybe even books, maybe some additional recipes, as we said a moment ago, that might be coming. So, what are your future plans?
Yeah, so I would love to spend 2021 marketing this book. But also, I have a plan to teach online courses for artists and creative people based on the content of the book. I'm going to launch a workbook and an audio book so that people can listen along and do exercises and activities from the book. And in January, started my own podcast by the same title as the book. So doing a lot of crazy things, lots of new stuff, and mostly sinking a lot of my energy into Artists Who Thrive, as well as trying to launch another wallpaper collection in 2021.
That's awesome. You've got your work cut out, and 2021 is going to be a great year,
Yes.
with so much in store. So, your book is amazing, and I want to make sure our listeners know where they can get a copy of it and know where they can get in touch with you for both your services as well as to continue this conversation that we've had here and Get Down to Business. Where can people reach you?
Sure. So they can find my book on Amazon. You can also find it on my website. It's profitableartist.org. My email is hello@profitableartist.org. So if you want to reach out and know more, I have the ability to do a 30-minute consultation with anyone who's feeling stuck, doesn't know where to start, and wants a little bit of guidance. But yeah, you can find many resources on my blog and even a calendar that's for sale on my website. So get yourself motivated in 2021 to thrive.
Well, you've already motivated me. You've certainly motivated our listeners, and I very, very much appreciate you joining us. Erin and Minckley, Artists Who Thrive. Visit profitableartist.org. And what a great conversation. Looking forward to staying in touch. And we are going to squeeze in some headlines. A quick break. Be sure to check out our sponsors, ChicagoSignatureLimo.com, as well as HealthPlanChicago.com. Again, we're going to squeeze in a quick break here and get down to business. We'll be right back.